Welcome back. In this session, we are going to talk about function declarations and expressions. Before that, in this JavaScript, there are different ways of writing functions, and each type of functions works in a slightly different way. But don't worry about that. Every function is almost similar to each other. In the last video, the function we saw was called as function declaration because we simply use the function keyword to declare the function, a bit like we declare a variable. So let's write another function declaration this time. Let's take an example. Let's calculate the age based on the birth year. Okay, for that let's start writing a code here. Let's write function. We'll write calculate age 1. Okay, here we'll write parenthesis. In parenthesis we'll declare birth year. Okay, now here we'll declare age. Let's make it in a constant variable age equals to. Okay, let's take suppose the present year 2037 minus the birth year. Okay, and here we can return our age value. Okay, we can write this way, or else we can also write in another way, right? So to make it simpler, we can just directly go ahead and call this directly here instead of using the variable here. So let's remove age and let's just directly call that. Let's remove this line. So yeah, here we need to remove this. See, here the value is written. You can see that we have written a generic function. So let's call or invoke or execute this function. You can see anything like call or invoke or execute. So let's go ahead and call this. So we'll write call age 1. We'll give for suppose 1990 here. Okay, and we have to declare this in a constant, right? So let's make it in this constant age 1. Okay, then we'll console this into, as you can see the output here now. See, here we got our output as 47. So so this is a function declaration. Now let's create a function expression. So that's the other type of function that looks like this. Instead of writing the function with calculate age name, we simply write function basically without a name. Then we still define the parameters. We still define the body, which is going to be the same as this one because we want another calculate age function here. So let's go ahead and write that down here. We'll start writing our code here. So in this function expression, let's go ahead and declare a constant variable. So we are going to store everything here, right? So we'll declare as here calculate age 2. Okay, cal age 2. We are going to declare in this in function. So in the parenthesis, we are declare the birth year here. So and then here we'll return the same value as the above. Okay, and then we are going to declare here again one more variable. Let's declare constant age 2 here. We'll just go ahead and call out cal age 2, and here we'll declare some input called 1990 here, for example. So let's go ahead and console dot log. Here we are declaring both the ages, age 1 and age 2 here. Okay, as you can see the output here 47. So here first 47 is going to be the age 1 which we declared here in the first sentence. So second age 2 is going to be declared here, this one. So in these both cases, as you can identify the difference easily, here we haven't declared this function. Here we haven't stored this function in any value. So while coming to this function expression, we have done here is to store all these into this variable called cal h2, and then it will be function. So let's say this one is our function cal h2 here. So this exactly the same way as a function declaration. So we call it some ways. So we capture it and then return the value in same way, and then of course the result is also the same way because function body is same. As you can see here, right, this function birth year and return, and this function and birth year, this main function is same. So all we are doing is we are storing this in the variable. Here we are not storing here in any variable, so we are just calling out here. As you can notice the difference here. So it is very important to know that in JavaScript, these two types of functions exist. In this part highlighted, let me just show you here. So in this part which is getting highlighted here, as you can see, it is an expression here. And remember that expression produces a value. So we just assign this whole value to this variable. So this variable called, here in this case, we are declaring in this value called cal h2. So in this case, this is the expression. We are just assigning this value to this cal h2. So we are just going out and calling out this cal h2 as you can see here. Okay. We are just all storing this again here into this h2. Okay. So this variable will be then hold the function value basically. And here big implication on what I just said. So that this is just a value. Yeah, in fact, in JavaScript, functions are actually just numbers. So just as a number or a string or a Boolean value. So function is not a type, okay? It is not like a string or a number type, but also a value. And if it's a value, we can store it in a variable. This is very important and we'll discuss in depth when we go into our course. Besides this, the big difference between this function declaration and function expression is, well, the practical difference that we can actually call function declaration before they are defined in the code. For example, as you can see here, see, this one has to be declared before function. Okay, before writing the function itself, we have to declare this. Okay, in the first case, which is function declaration, as you can see, there is no change in the output. While as coming to this function expression, if you just go ahead and declare this before the function, as you can see here, see, unexpected error. So identifier h2 has already been declared. So wait, yeah. See, cannot access the calculate h2 before initialization. So in this function expression, it has always to be declared inside, not outside. Okay, remember that. So that's the one of the major difference you can say for function declaration and function expression. So indeed here we got the same value, but coming to the expression, we have to declare it outside and then declare it later. So it won't work, right? So we can't access calculate h2. As you can see, before we did, right, we couldn't get accessed here. Okay, so this happens because of a process internally called hosting. We'll learn about this in future. For now, let's keep our mind here. So you call a function declaration before you define it, even though they might not be such a good idea in many cases. So in recent times, many people are using this function declaration, but if you declare this in the first case, in some type of situation, it might not take. So you have to declare it is in the inside. So the main question here you should ask yourself is, while writing a function code, which type of function I should write it, either it is in a function declaration or function expression. Actually, it's your own choice. My personal choice is writing a function expression, because when I declare this line of code in the starting itself, this one, so in the later of the code, whenever I want, I can just go ahead and call it out. So it would be easier for me and it would be a clean code for me. So it's again my personal opinion. If you want, you can just go ahead and use this as well. There is no issue. But coming to this function, you have to be aware about function declaration and function expression. So that's it for this session. I'll see you in the next session.